Hello, YouTube. My name is Paul Beach, and I really enjoy running. And I've got some set goals I want to hit over 2026. So I want to hit sub 1 hour, 1 hour 10 minutes for half marathon in Barcelona in February 2026, and then I've got the Berlin Marathon in September 2026, where I want to run sub 2 hours 30. So it's really important that I give you guys an idea of where I am actually at the moment. So my PBs at the minute for 5K is 16:45. For 10K at the minute is 35:12. For half marathon it is 1:16:02. And then my marathon PB is 2 hours 39 minutes and 4 seconds. So to run sub 1 hour and 10 minutes, we need to be running 3 minutes and 18 seconds per kilometer. So for 5K, that is 16 minutes 30. So as you can tell from what I've just mentioned, I haven't even run that pace at the moment for 5K yet, and I'm going to attempt to run it for a half marathon in 11 weeks' time. Now we've got a 10K race in 2 weeks' time, and so hopefully if we can be somewhere in and around the 33 minutes for that race, then it's on. Like we can see. But that'll give us a real good indication 9 weeks away from Barcelona half marathon. Should hopefully be looking for possibly a 5K and a 10K PB within that race. But we'll see. And then 2 hours 30 minutes is 3 minutes and 33 seconds per kilometer, or 5 minutes 43 per mile. So when we work that out to 5K 10K paces, so 3:33 per kilometer is 35 minutes and 30 seconds for 10K average split over the 10K split over a marathon. And then so that's going to be 17:45 for 5K. So at the moment, I've just about run that pace for 10K. And in 10 months' time, 10 months' time, I want to try and run that pace for a whole marathon. So we had a lactate threshold test at Bath University last week, and it gave three key metrics: VO2 max, which it said was one of my strengths, 62.8. It also said that running economy, which is sustaining a pace over a longer period of time with less energy conservation. You can sustain a pace with less effort. If you've got a high running economy, one person could run 20 minutes for 5K, another person could run 20 minutes for 5K. But if one's able to do that, say, at 150 beats per minute, and another one's working at 170, clearly the one that's got 150 has got a better running economy, because they're needing to use less effort because their heart rate is 20 beats a minute less than the one that's 170. So VO2 max really strong. Could be stronger. We can work on that with threshold work and intervals. Which brings me to my next point, my two areas for improvement, which are the threshold paces. So lactate threshold 1, that sits in your aerobic zone. So that's going to be under 140 beats a minute. And then lactate threshold 2, which is zone 3, that's going to sit anywhere under 156 beats a minute. So we're going to target that in 2 key sessions a week, a midweek interval session, and a long run, which will also have intervals within that session. And then the other area to work on as well is going to be my muscle strength. So that's going to be in the gym once a week. Might do it twice, but if I do it on the second occasion, it's just going to be more mobility work than anything heavy, because fitting all these sessions in, key period of this training block is recovery. Actually doing a little bit less running than I have done in the past, but because I'm really prioritizing recovery. Recovery is really important because what happens in recovery is we actually break the body down when we do these sessions, whether it's in the gym or whether it's an easy run or whether it's an interval session. The muscle tissue, they break down. And then what happens is they grow back stronger, a thing called supercompensation. If we go back into training too soon before that period's able to be finalized, we don't get the full benefits of full super compensation. So that's what we're looking for from the recovery. We're looking to get stronger, faster when we're not actually running, as opposed to when we are. Because it's the recovery where we're gonna develop. But two other areas I'm going to touch on because I mentioned that in the last video that I didn't mention in the last video. It's the psychology. So within the brain, we've got both our subconscious and our conscious brain. Now, our subconscious brain it takes up 85-90% of our thoughts. It's the things that we do without even thinking about. Things that we've learned, like driving, brushing our teeth, putting our shoes on, things that we can do without even thinking. Our subconscious brain, because they're automatic habits, it just takes over our subconscious brain. And then our conscious thinking is, me thinking consciously, okay, I want to be a faster runner, but I've got to target both areas there with the psychology, and what I'm doing by that is I'm listening to affirmations, I'm cutting out negative stuff that I used to be listening to, stuff that I can't affect, I can't change, all I can really affect is my actions and how I deal with people, and that's all I can really change on a day-to-day basis. And then hopefully by me being more positive, that positive ripple spreads to other people, and then linking into psychology a little bit as well. What we eat and our nutrition can actually play a factor in our recovery, which I've mentioned earlier, but also our mood. Sometimes if you've probably had it before, you eat at McDonald's or something, and freaking you don't feel you feel hungry about 2 hours later. You feel sluggish. You feel lethargic. It's like so. Basically, we're not going to like. I mean, we need a lot of carbohydrates for fueling our running. We need proteins for the breakdown of our muscles when we're recovering. So we need those key meals. We're not making any massive changes, but I'm trying to cut out. You can generally tell whether things are good or bad for you when you look on the ingredients. If they've got shitloads of ingredients you ain't even heard of, chances are ain't going to be good for you. I look on the back of the porridge I'm now eating. There isn't a list of ingredients. There isn't, because it's oats, it's porridge. That's it. Whole foods. That's what we're after. If it's got more than freaking 10 ingredients on it, I don't think it's going to be great. Fruit, vegetables. An apple doesn't have an ingredient list. A banana doesn't have an ingredient list. Doesn't need to. An apple's an apple, a banana's a banana. So that's what we're looking at. Whole foods, cutting out the processed shit. Alcohol wise as well. I had a few drinks after. I was a bit pissed off with my last half marathon result in when was that now? 19th of October. But I haven't really wanted to since. I'm feeling good. I've links into my next point. When we want to race strong, if we can get to our ideal racing weight. So I dropped 4 kilos since that race. Combination of watching what I eat. I'm trying to reduce my stress levels a little bit by being less bothered by this shit that I can't even control anyway. Just being relaxed, whatever with it. Just just being just whatever. People are people. Don't be too affected by stuff I can't control. Um, yeah, and I'm just trying to sleep more as well. In periods where I don't really need to do anything. It's winter now. It's dark at 5 o'clock. Like, just get in the bed. Let's get into bed, recover. Links to that, what I was just saying earlier about the recovery is where it happens. If I've got time, I'll have a nap. I'll have an extra hour. I'll go to bed early. Like, I'm interested in watching shit on the TV. Um, so yeah, that's where we're at now. Um, whatever we're thinking about goals, like generally in life, but in running, whatever, people will call you delusional if you set a goal which is freaking way out of your comfort zone or whatever. But for me, I'd much rather set the bar like super high. And okay, if I don't hit that goal, but part of what I was talking about earlier about the subconscious and the conscious brain is to trying to change the thinking. We hear quite a lot in running about goals, about A goal, B goal. They asked Kipchoge on his last sub 2 hour effort, like what's changed, what's been different, because you didn't manage to hit like the sub 2 hours on the first attempt. What's different this time? He said the training's the same, the nutrition's the same, everything's the same, just the thinking's different. And basically, that's what I'm looking to hit as well. So it's there is no B goal. So like just going back a couple of minutes ago, if I don't hit, that's the process that I'm trying to get to in my mind. That it's not an option. That is the goal has basically already been achieved. That's basically where I'm looking to get to in my head. Day by day, just to listening to positive stuff, positive affirmations. Like it's not even like it's already happened. You hit like hearing this. Some people it might sound a bit woo woo in these spirituality communities, what they call manifestation, about think as if it's already happened, and then in terms of that you've got your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. So we've talked about your thoughts, about your subconscious and your conscious brain, and changing those. Your feelings, they're a little bit downstream from your thoughts. If you think negatively all the time, your chances are you're going to feel like shit. Whereas if you think positive, like I can do this, I can do this, then you're going to feel positive that you can do it. But really important, the actions within running. The actions is the training plan. So we run 6 days a week, 2 easy runs, 2 recovery runs, a midweek interval session, and a weekend long run. Different intervals in that weekend long run every week, and yeah, like I feel differently. I'm glad I had some beers and some cider after that half marathon. So for perspective of my PB, as I said, is 1 hour 16. That was 1 hour 21, and I'm looking to get to 1 hour 10. So it's a massive jump. We're looking to make an 11-minute jump in 16 weeks. So it's over a 10% improvement we're looking for. Now, with the weight loss, I think that should straight away push me back to kind of near that PB shape of like kind of 116, somewhere around that. And then maybe looking to get that weight just a little bit lower, but we don't want it to be too low because it links into what we're saying about building that strength, building that functional strength. Not doing as much upper body stuff. I need to teach classes, strength and conditioning, some elements of that. There's some upper body stuff. I'm just going lighter on the bar. It's all about the squats, the deadlifts, single leg, like Bulgarian split squat. So that works a little bit on balance as well. Single leg deadlift, clamshells with a band kickbacks. What else is there? Single leg hold on the leg press machine with a working the calf muscles. So yeah, there's so much to it, but I just wanted to make a follow up to the last video because basically it's important to know where I am as a starting point. So this is where I am at the moment. I'm at an hour and 21 minutes effectively for the half marathon. You're only as good as your last race. It wasn't 1 hour 16 minutes. It was an hour and 21 minutes. So that's where I'm at. That's what the 19th of October said. So we dropped the 4 kilos. We've changed the thinking. We changed the training. We changed the eating. We're making some changes, but proof's going to be in the pudding. And the pudding's going to be on the 14th of December at Telford 10K. Now, we see what happens there, and we go from there. But everything, every thought, every feeling, every action for me so far is that I think that, well, that there's going to be a positive result there. There's going to be a positive result, but we see how it goes on the day. We control everything that we can control. I ain't about anymore about, oh, it's too hot, whatever. Fuck, it's too hot. If it's too hot, oh, that's another thing I'm doing as well. I'm jumping in the sauna. If it ends up being randomly fucking hot on race day, I can't control that, but I can jump in the sauna 3 times a week for 15 minutes, sweat my bollocks off in the sauna, and when it is hot on race day, my body's more prepared for it. So there's different things about this. There's quite a few. It's probably about 10 changes we've made in this training block. But yeah, building up to Berlin Marathon, September 2026, 2 hours 29 minutes is the goal, 10-minute PB. We see how we go, but yeah, everything so far is looking good. Peace out.